Hi, I'm Shannon Edmonston, a registered dietitian at the Perth District Health Unit. Today I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks on how we make recipes a little bit healthier. So you don't need to go and buy special healthy cooking recipes or cookbooks. You can just use recipes that you currently use and make a few substitutions to help make your meals a little healthier. So if I'm making muffins or a loaf and it calls for melted butter, I will use vegetable oil instead. It's easier, it's already a liquid, and vegetable oil has less saturated fat than butter. It makes the muffins heart healthier. In the same recipes for muffins and loaves, you can also cut down half the amount of fat and substitute in a pureed fruit, so like an applesauce or a pureed pumpkin. So if the recipe calls for half of a cup of oil, you could put in a 1/4 cup oil and a 1/4 cup of your pureed fruit. You can also substitute at least half of the amount of flour and use whole wheat flour instead. Some recipes that I make, like a banana muffin, I'll use all whole wheat flour instead of all-purpose flour, and that just adds more fiber and it makes it a whole grain. For soups and chowders that I make, if it calls for cream, I'll use evaporated milk instead of cream, and that will also cut down the amount of saturated fat in that recipe and still gives it a nice creamy texture. So for recipes that call for sour cream, like dips, some homemade dressings, and even some baking, you can substitute in a plain Greek yogurt, and that decreases the amount of fat that you're putting into your recipe, but also increases the amount of protein and calcium. You can also just serve plain Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. So if you're serving something like pierogies, it's a nice alternative. To cut down on the amount of salt in your recipe, you can substitute in some garlic powder or onion powder, or you can use a no salt added spice blend. Those are just a few of the ways that you can make your favorite recipes a little bit healthier.